is Abdul Rahman. I'm a lecturer at a public university in Kenya. I deliver lectures in computing and informatics. In our last lesson, we discussed about memory allocation method. Basically, we found out that there are two types of memory allocation method, that it is the static memory allocation and the dynamic memory allocation. So in our last lesson, we discussed about the static memory allocation, and today we are going actually to discuss about the dynamic memory allocation. And into that particular journey, we are going to define actually what is the dynamic memory allocation and what are the inbuilt functions of dynamic memory allocation, and finally we are going to implement the concept of dynamic memory allocation. And into that particular journey, let us start. So what is a dynamic memory allocation? Basically, when we are talking about dynamic memory allocation, actually we are saying it is a memory allocation whereby allocation today it is made for managing mobile devices. So when we want to use dynamic memory allocation, we are using it for mostly managing of mobile devices such as the smartphone. Because actually the space or the memory on smartphones or small devices, actually it is very small, and when we keep on using memory again and again without clearing that particular memory, it brings about a concept which we call up a memory leak. So a memory leak, it means that memory it is used again and again until actually it comes out very full and there is no more memory to be used and the program actually crashes. So it's very important to use programs such as C programming, which actually can manage memory and has its own inbuilt function. And actually it is implemented as we had said in our last program, actually using up pointers. So it's very important to know the concept of a pointer, or you can use an array. Also it's very important to know the concepts of an array, and also it can be used using up structure. Also it's very important to understand actually how structure also work. So that one actually takes us into the inbuilt functions. So when we are talking about the inbuilt functions, basically they are divided into 4 of them. So we'll have maybe around 4 of them to discuss and understand this particular inbuilt function in C. How do they implement dynamic memory allocation? So the first one we have here is what we call the malloc. So the malloc function, and then we have the second one which we call up the calloc, and then the third one we call it the reloc function, and the fifth one we have it is the free function. So let's see each and every one what is it all about. So when we're talking about the malloc function, actually this allocates a single block of memory. So the malloc function actually it's allocating single block of memory. When you come up to the calloc, actually allocates multiple. So this one is allocate not a single but multiple block of memory. and when you come out to the relock, this one actually allocates a new size of memory block. And the last one, the free, actually after you have either allocate or using up a malloc or a calloc, this memory has to be actually freed. So this one actually it frees memory space in order to avoid what you call memory leak. So basically, these are the inbuilt functions which are found in C programming. And in this particular inbuilt functions, actually they can be accessed through a file called standardlib.h. So this particular file, standardlib.h, actually will contain all our three functions, all our four functions, they'll be contained inside here. So it's very important to understand that particular perspective. So after knowing actually that particular concept, let's go now to dev C++ and try to implement the same. So we'll take up in a very simple manner. Here we are taking up let's say an array. So I'll have here my char, maybe char name, and this particular array will hold on, let's say 30 items, and then from there just want to say printf and say enter your, let's say 3 names, and I have to terminate. I'm using up the gets, so I can say here gets name, and then basically just I want to print up the name. I just want to print up the name. So here I'll say printf say just printf your names are, and here we'll have our format specifier to be %s and pass on our name. So it's a very simple program. However, this particular program, actually, if I have got a name which is more than 30, there is nothing I can do because my array has been actually having a fixed size of 30. So this could lead easily to a memory leak. And during execution also, I cannot change. There is no way I can change the size of this particular array. So as a result of that, this particular program, as when we write the way it is, it has got some challenges, and that is why these particular challenges actually they are going in our next lesson to see how we are going to go about them, because C programming has introduced some inbuilt function, the malloc, the calloc, the relock, and the free. For us programmers actually to be able to declare let's say arrays or let's say pointers or arrays or structures which will have the size and not be defined in advance, which is flexible and can be used again and again. So let us now run this particular program and see what happens. So when we run this particular program, as expected, it prompts us to give us our three names. So I can give up my three names as Abdul, Rahman, Ahmed, and Mohammed. And when actually I enter, say your names are Abdul Rahman, Ahmed, Mohammed. However, as we had said earlier, actually we are not flexible to change the size of this particular array, and also either at the runtime, and if you had to write maybe 2 or 3 sentences, this will bring up a memory link and our program might crash. So that actually keeps at the end of this particular lesson until our next lesson, whereby we are going to take up the malloc function and see how we can solve up our problem. And for that particular note, don't forget to subscribe into our next lesson. And for now, I say bye.